Going live. All right, guys. Give it a minute. Let everybody get caught back up and get on here. And I'll explain what's been going on. I'll go ahead and start. I think we got a couple of people logging back on now. And I'll reiterate a couple of times throughout the video. But so when we got back into the back corner of the warehouse, we couldn't stay on live. We were using Ed's phone, and it had full signal the entire time, but we were completely unable to stay on. It kept going intermittently in and out, and then it would just kick completely out. I actually got a message from Ted. Ted, I hope you're up watching still. Really appreciate you checking on us, making sure we were okay. But the phone just would not stay live. Full battery, full signal, and our IR light on our camera proceeded to die. But as soon as we went offline, the light came back on. Do what? Just a lot of weird things going on. We came back through the back part of the warehouse where the racks were. If you remember when we were going through the initial walkthrough, Leah picked up the sensation of one particular aisle. Somebody, what was it? They were running up and down the aisle. And then she heard a growling noise from the back corner.
From that room that we were in, where I saw the thing, the black mass that you were standing inside of.
So that was the room that we were starting to lose signal in. I don't know if what all was actually caught on the video, but Leah had picked up a black mass in the middle of the room. I went and stood in it with my EMF detector to see if I would pick up anything. I didn't get any changes in the atmosphere. It felt a little bit different, but nothing on the equipment or whatnot. And that's when we started losing signal. But when we came out into the racks area, that's where Leah was hearing the growl. But we've come back to HQ, per se, to regroup and just kind of make sense of everything that just happened, if that makes any sense. Ed, do you have anything you want to throw in with what we just went through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting. What we're going to do now, we're going to use Mike's phone. It's a different service, so we want to debunk that to see if it's just coincidence when we started picking up activity or if it's something interfering with our equipment. Everything was fully charged. Everything was good to go when we started. It's kind of strange. We're going to check out those 3 or 4 locations where Leah picked up a few things. We want to go in those with some recorders. The first thing that we always do, and I'll grab it here. As soon as we walked in the building, I start a recorder, and I just sit it near the equipment, just to get everything, just in case something hangs around our equipment that's just curious of what we've got on the table. We want to make sure that we document it at all times.
Ed, we've got a question. Tori and Trevor said, could something like that mess with signals on devices?
Absolutely. Especially even residual or just regular energy going back and forth. It can interfere. Stuff that is demonic or malevolent could easily pick that up. That's why, the idea of draining batteries, absolutely that'll happen. It'll wipe out cameras. We had a situation a couple weekends ago. We had an investigation. One recorder recorded, the other one didn't do anything. They were 10 feet from each other. Same identical recorder. They're very expensive recorders, so absolutely, Tori and Trevor, we appreciate that question. Yes, it can interfere. And it can also interfere with the investigators. It can cause migraines, headaches, upset stomachs, the whole 9 yards.
Right. I'm all trying to here. The theory behind that is anything that's going to try to manifest, whether it be demonic or what have you, it's got to pull energy from somewhere. A battery or anything, any sort of electronic device is a good, quick, easy, I guess like a power drink for something like that. They can pull that really quick. They can pull it from the air. That's why eagles have cold spots. That's why we have gear that checks the temperature of an area. And it can, like Ed said, it can pull from an investigator. We've been on investigations where doesn't matter how many hours of sleep we've gotten beforehand, we're there for an hour and we are just completely drained because it's trying to pull from us. So that's one of the things you have to be careful of when you go on an investigation. Prepare yourself, not just equipment and all that stuff. Make sure everything's charged up. Prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. Pray protection over yourself. There's nothing more important than taking care of yourself. It's just like going to work. You want to come back from the same condition that you went in, hopefully better, if anything. Leah?
Do you have any questions come through while we were walking through initially?
Yeah, there was a question about, Thomas asked where you were picking up some results if we were in the same room or we were having interference, where we had that big cold spot where I actually went into the room. That was not the same location. It's in the same general location, but it's not the same location. There wasn't much electronics in that room, so that's kind of strange. And there's no, first thing that I know is there's no windows, there's no cracks, there's nothing that can really cause a breeze. I did, and I hope we got it on camera. I said it on live feed. I heard a knock. Now, when we do these investigations, we're very careful about where we step for safety purposes, but if we like kick a rock or sneeze or grunt or groan or whatever, we make sure that we call that out. We'll tag that. I tagged that as soon as I heard that knock. Is it something? Is it nothing? Was it a rat that tripped in the wall? We don't know. We need to evaluate that. But we actually had some really strange interference with our equipment. That's something else that you need to do as an investigator. A lot of folks, especially this time of year, go buy all this cool, you jump on Amazon, spend $300 and buy a kit that only costs $80 if you buy it individually, whatever. But the only thing you really need as an investigator is some a tape recorder and a flashlight, and I would start off with a still camera. The first thing I would also do if you do that is get with a group that you can trust.
Yes.
Because you can get messed up really. If you focus on getting a result and getting scared, you're going to end up getting scared, but it's not going to be when you're at an abandoned location. You're going to be scared in your home.
And it's not going to be a fear or a scare that goes away easily.
As a father and a husband and a grandfather, my biggest fear is not being able to protect my family. And I think that's for any parent. Somebody breaks in my house, I can shoot them. I'm cool with that, right? I'm being honest. Somebody steals my car, I'll beat your brakes off. That's fine. But how do I, as a parent, as a father, protect against my house something that I can't see? And that's what we do as a group. We help you with that. The biggest thing, and I know Michael and Leah has had this situation, where we've met past clients out in public, and their kids come up and say, "Thank you, I can sleep at night." That's it. That's it. For me, 100%, when a child or a family is able to feel peace at their home, that's what it's all about. If you got any questions, please post your questions. We apologize for the fee, but we're here to figure out what's going on for this client. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Something that we do as a team, this is absolutely the biggest pet peeve of mine, is we get called in from clients or other teams, and we interview the client, and they said, well, this, John Q Paranormal, whatever you want to call, they came in, they investigated, they had all these lights and buzzers and all this cool equipment, but they disappeared, and all of a sudden, they never called us back. We're not that way. We'll call you, we'll tell you what's going on, we'll check on you. We have clients that we worked with 3-4 years ago. We don't harass them, we check on them, like, what's going on? And they become part of our family.
I gotta grab Leah a pen real quick. Sorry.
But that's what that's absolutely what our group's about, our ministry's about. It's just educating people, giving them empowerment, showing them how to take authority over their homes, their lives in these situations. And this time of the year is busiest for us, not because it's really the Halloween thing. The reason is more people are indoors, and when you're indoors, you hear pops and creaks and cracks and all that stuff. But historically, this is our biggest time of the year. But if you won't have any questions, please post them. And I think Mike's got some really exciting news in just a minute, that this is a fantastic experiment. We're going to write about it in our upcoming newsletter. Let me plug that shamelessly. We do these newsletters. It's not because we have too much time on our hands. We all work 40 to 50 hours a week. We got kids, we got grandkids, we've got bills we got to pay. It's information, right? You can have plenty of information, but if it's the wrong information, you're gonna get the wrong result. We do a monthly newsletter where we cover all type of different experiments, equipment. If you've got something that you really have a question about, or something that you see investigators do or involved in the paranormal realm, and you've got a question, ask us. We'll be glad. And if we don't really know the detail, we'll find somebody that will. It's 100% about helping people. So what's your exciting news, Michael?
Wait, our newsletter comes out at the 1st of every month. So November the 1st is our next one.
November 1st, and I'm actually going to be the one writing the article about the Gansfeld experiment, so woohoo. So yeah, what we're going to do here in just a few minutes, we'll break. We won't take as long a break as we did last time. Maybe 15 minutes tops, just to get everything together. We're going to do the Gansfeld experiment. Thomas, what we do is, if you've already liked our page on Facebook, you'll automatically get the newsletter. We send it out that way. It's also on our website, paranormalhelpministries.com. Ministry, I'm sorry. Thank you. paranormalhelpministry.com. You can download it in PDF format there, print it out, hand out copies to your friends. But no, we do post it on the Facebook page as soon as it comes out. So it'll be there. You can actually, and again, you can go back to the website and look at all of our past issues. How many have we got going on so far?
Of course you would ask.
Sorry.
Since April?
April or March was our first.
March was the first one.
Yeah, I guess it was.
So this will be our 10th issue. 10 issues strong. Wow.
Yeah.
Still going. Couple of things I wanted to cover. Ed, you may have to remind me here from our initial walkthrough. Couple of things that Leah picked up on that we were able to confirm. The room with the humming. The room with the humming. Ed said that there's always something humming in that room. He actually got a specific song.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was asking you if you were able to pick up anything.
It wasn't something specific. It was just a...
Of course, the room that we went into that had the initially had the mist that you couldn't go into.
Yes. Which, by the way, is where I would like for us to do the Gansfeld.
Okay, so we're doing the Gansfeld experiment in there.
Surprise.
Ed, this is where you have to remind me. What is it that you don't know anything specific about that room, but there are things that you've heard things come out of that room, or the client said, I can't remember. That's why I said you would have to help me remember.
Where we're going to do the experiment?
Yes.
Okay, so the client claims, I'm sorry, I just parted my hair. The clients, some of the claims out of that particular room is they claim that they hear humming. They say a particular song. They hear whistling, and they kind of feel like something's tapping or throwing things in that room. There's not much in that room. There's some cardboard, some plastic stands.
I think there was a smoker's post in there too.
Yeah,
That's about it. Not a lot in there.
I'll say this: I have no gifts or anything other than growing a beautiful beard. But as far as the paranormal, but from 15 years working in law enforcement, I've developed the mentality of when my back is being exposed, I did not feel comfortable in that room. Okay. Now look, I've got my colleague with me, and we've got safety precautions, and we're in a secured location. But there again, I did not feel comfortable in there, and that's something as an investigators we have to know each other well enough that okay, if Michael is acting a little bit weird, okay, what's is his personality changing? What's going on? Is he getting tired? Is it medical? Is it something spiritual? Something attacking him, draining his energy? That's something. It's just not sitting in the dark with cool equipment. You've got to watch some of this stuff, and it could easily mess up your life. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you're a paranormal investigator, if you're involved in this, number one, never go alone. Number two, always check in afterwards. We had a bigger team a couple years ago, and it was as soon as you got home, you checked in. As soon as you were heading toward the investigation, you checked in. We always ate afterwards, and not just because we were hungry. It gave you ability to decompress a little bit.
Yeah.
This stuff can really wear you out, especially if you get into the spiritual warfare thing, and you work with these clients day in and day out. It is a drain, and so if I'm acting a little down in the dumps, not only will my wife call me out very quickly, my daughter, my son, they'll notice, and they'll reach out to Michael or Leah or say something to me, and I'll reach out and say, hey, and we have, before we do evidence review, take you a day, take you 2 days, decompress, especially if something unpleasant happens. We had a case where I was affected really bad, and I knew that. Michael and Leah saw that. And I gave my audio up and let them listen to it because I knew it was going to affect me too much because it had a tie to me in some fashion. But if you have any questions, post those questions. I mean, we really, it's not, we like helping people and answering questions.
Yes.
It's what we do. I could care less about paying $1,000 to walk around in the dark. I don't care nothing about that. Not for $1,000, absolutely.
No, they can pay me $1,000 to come in, and I'll do it. But different story.
But we're going to set up that experiment.
Okay.
The one thing I want to warn folks about this experiment, you got to be real careful, because it even if you don't have any sensitivities at all, it will open you up to things to communicate with you.
Right.
Okay.
I won't go into a lot of specifics on it right off the bat because it's more of a you got to see it kind of thing to understand. But it's ostensibly a sensory deprivation experiment. The person involved, that's the lab rat, for better definition, will basically be closed off from everything. And whether you have a sensitivity to anything or not, it can open up potential sensitivities. And the thing that we're doing here that can be risky is if you have a sensitivity, which Leah does, and she's the one that's volunteered to do this. But she takes precautions, she prays, she knows herself, and that's the most important thing you've got to know as an investigator. You know your body, you know yourself. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it, or know when to step back out of it. We'll get that set up. There was a couple of other things I wanted to cover. The bathroom, you were dead spot on that. The first one, I'm going to call it the pink bathroom, is the one where something stands behind the door and watches people, and you were feeling the sensation right there in the doorway. The other bathroom as well, I know that That was the men's room, because it's got that little room off to the side where they changed clothes. The room with all the equipment that you said you felt something in, like somebody standing there watching, that was the room where they found the dead person, right?
That is absolutely correct.
And that is confirmed. There was a dead body in there. To point out on what Thomas was picking up on, and I thought it was kind of interesting, you weren't in the exact same area. I mean, we were in the same room, but when you said that you were picking up silence that was so deafening like that, he said that whenever we were closer to the windows in that room, he was picking up on our video audio just a low frequency hum.
Oh.
So I don't know. I would like to be. He said he's tagged it for us, so I'd be really interested to go back through and actually see if we can hear that as well.
Okay.
But guys, somebody give me a time check here real quick.
10:04.
10:04. Guys, give us 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 10:20. All right, give us till about 10:20. Won't take us but a few minutes to get this set up, and I will. I'll explain step by step as I'm setting up the experiment. Thank you, Thomas. He said that he was picking it up in the break room, close to the break room. I'll point it out, but it was in that same general vicinity. And Thomas, you said you time-stamped it, so I appreciate that, man. We'll take a check into it. But we're going to get our stuff together. Guys, again, I can't reiterate how I want to thank y'all for being patient with us. I know we lost signal multiple times back there in the warehouse. But we're going to go with my phone this go around to see if it's a difference in service. 10:20, we'll be setting up the Gonsfeld experiment and show you how it's done. See you later.